Whoa. Ah. I didn't even, did I not have that? I had that muted the whole time. Oh my God, horrible. Horrible! Well, I appreciate everyone taking the time to hosty MrWildStarfish with the host. Mayan, thank you so much for the host. Greatly appreciate that as well. Welcome everyone, one and all, to the stream. The stream of the hype. I can't wait. I can't wait. Someone had told us about MrWildStarfish and that that we should interview him, and I'm very, very excited that we get the opportunity to do so because it's going to be a lot of fun. Three Fat Samurai with the host, greatly appreciate it. They're fantastic right now. Actually, they're doing swimmingly well. Yep, no problem, no problem. Thank you, Sammy. But we've got some great questions planned. Always willing to take more from the audience. We're just waiting on him to get back in from, I believe, stepping out to take a smoke break or something like that. And then we're gonna do Discord call, get him in here, and find out more about him. He's a member of the Variety Pack stream team over on Mixer. You guys may remember the Variety Pack more commonly from Admiral Krull, Socket Monk, and a bunch of other users that we host. Miss V Blazin, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vault, and thank you for becoming a Vault Dweller, which I believe puts us at the next 5. Yeah, we got to do weights. I don't even remember what I ate yesterday. I ate tots and nugs. That's what I ate. Just be with that host. 1, 2, 3. Green Hillbilly, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vault, and thank you for becoming a Vault Dweller. Oh. All right, I got to do the other side now. Hey, getting swanky. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So every five people, we do a set of 10 weights. Lino, hello. Welcome back to the Vault. You fantastic dweller, you. I like that. Getting swanky. It's kind of like chunky, but swole. Like chunky, you know? You know, when you see a cat who's chunky and he's adorable, but like you also see a guy who's swole, it's swanky. Holy crap, there's all of our auto hosting. Guys, thank you so much for anyone who has signed up for auto hosting. Greatly appreciate that. Cuboid Wheel, Seagoing Goat, AK Guns for Days, Caloric Plate, Madly Glue, D&D TV, Lino with the host, Flawless Kittens. Dude, all kittens are flawless. Senepa, Downwards Owl, Meganificent, Ryan, all of you guys with the host. So, Pink, we'd previously asked a bunch of people to sign up for hosting because even though, which Pink, thank you so much for the host, even though they're not streamers, it still goes a long way to help, right? Mixer looks at those as part of an analytic. What you're willing to showcase. And so we had asked a bunch of people, hey, if you could, it would greatly help us out. Sign up for an auto host. Help us see the world of Mixer. Help the world of Mixer see us. Join the Vault. So we had a bunch of people get on that bandwagon, and it has been tremendously helpful. Tremendously helpful. Vanilla Biscotti with the Spaghetti Monster. Welcome. Extreme Tattoos with that host, of course. No one could expect anything less of extreme tattoos, and it's free. Doesn't cost a thing. Chatbot, my own bot. Thanks to the host. That's our cringe worthy one. That's our cringy little cringy action. Lionel, thank you for the sticker. Appreciate it. I love that so much. Dude, that spaghetti monster's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So anyone who's from MrWildStarfish's stream, welcome. This is the elegant chair that we were discussing. It's swanky. Bro, I just woke up, shaking my head, I'm kicking my butt. Wait, you're shaking your head because you just woke up and you should be up earlier? Or you're shaking your head because something else that happened? Which, by the way, thank you for the chair emotes. Those are native to any of the subs over there at MrWildStarfish. So if anyone at the end of the day feels desirous of supporting MrWildStarfish, you could then bring those chairs back to the vault to showcase off here. Because you can use those emotes universally, globally, across the entirety of the whole platform. Definitely a cousin. All right, so first off, I love an American highback and American highback chair. They're fantastic chairs. They're comfortable. They're elegant. They have great upholstery. Okay, I'm here. All right, let me throw you a call here. Call. Which I have to ask, MrWildStarfish, why don't I just wait until you're actually in the chat, and then that would make sense. Oh God, can I not hear you?
Hello.
Oh, now I can hear you. Tech Junkie, hello. Thank you so much for the host. Greatly appreciate it. So wait, can you do video so I can pull you in, or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, let's see how I can make this work then. Jerry Mortain, thank you so much for that beautiful hosty. Sparky, thank you so much for that. So how you doing, Mr. Starfish?
Doing well, and yourself?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much. Anyone who's out there here, let's kill the music. So how's your stream?
Dude,
how was your day?
Stream. Definitely a good stream so far. Or yeah, for the day. I don't know, just had a cup of coffee. Love talking and chatting with everybody, and so yeah, definitely a good stream.
So I saw that you I was peeping a little bit obviously before the stream started. I saw that you have a 7 of 7 cup.
Oh yes, yep. 7 of 7's awesome. He's been a huge inspiration for a lot of the things on my stream. So,
dude, I like 7 of 7. His art is out of this world.
Right, his art is out of this world, and his was one of the first art streams that I ever watched, and I couldn't believe how hype he made art. Like,
dude, exactly.
This chaos is amazing.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. I think. I don't know. I think that there are a lot of opportunities for artistic design, I would say creation on the platform. Yes, absolutely I can. Give me a second. Sorry, someone's asking me to turn you up.
Oh, ooh. Hello. Test. We a little bit better there. I can also turn up on my end too if we need to, but better.
Try test again.
Hello, testing.
All right, how's that, guy? Better. Awesome. More, right. More. Okay, we'll get some better. More. We'll get some. There we go.
Yeah.
Or sensual. Is that sensual enough for you? Perfect.
Nice,
all right.
Nice.
Flawless. All right, now I just have to get the video because for whatever reason it won't let me capture it. Why is this not working? Antoine, thank you so much for the host. Fat Burrito, thank you so much for the host. So I have to ask while we're sitting here, and I'm trying to get this up and functional because for whatever reason it quit working on me. Thanks, Streamlabs. How are you? How did you come into streaming? What got you motivated? What got you started into this world?
Well, it's a fairly interesting story. I guess when I started, I never thought that I'd be a streamer full time or anything like that. When I first started streaming, it all came down to my buddy and I. We were watching his son watch a streamer, and we didn't agree with what the streamer was telling his viewers, right? And so, and mind you, his son was 5 years old at the time, and so we're just like, well, this is kind of weird. He's just watching some random guy, and we don't really agree with what he's saying. So how can we, what can we do? And I was like, well, what if I go home? I could just turn on stream, and then he can just watch me play. And so that's kind of where I started. And it was funny because for the first couple weeks, the only person that watched my streams was my buddy's 5-year-old son. And it wasn't until a couple weeks go on that somebody came into my stream and was like, "Wow, it really seems like you don't care. I've never been in a stream like this." Because most streamers, when they're streaming, they're just trying to make everything as professional as possible or whatever. And I wasn't trying to do that. And so I actually gained quite a following off of not caring. And then uh, and that was when I was playing video games, and that was only for the first 2 months or so, which then they finally advised me that, "Oh, you play music? Why aren't you playing music on here?" And I was like, "Well, this is a video game platform. Why would anybody ever stream anything other than video games?" And they're like, "Dude, you you don't know what's going on." And they started showing me some of the musicians on here and some of the creative people doing like art and stuff like 7 to 7. And so after learning about that, then I just started just pouring into just playing my music online.
Right.
And and that really blew up the channel. I mean, yeah, took it to places I never thought were possible.
So
Um,
what were some of the first games that you were playing when you started on the platform? Just so we can get an
yeah,
idea.
Titanfall 2 was the game that my buddy's son loved to watch, and so I
Okay.
played Titanfall 2, and then I was at the same time I was playing tons of PUBG on Xbox at the time, because it was when it first came out on the Xbox, and so in my downtime I would just stream me playing PUBG. I
Gotcha.
wasn't very good, but yeah, I just
I
figured if I was sitting here playing, I might as well stream.
I definitely would not have taken you for a PUBG, sorry, PUBG slash Titanfall streamer player. Like it's just you're very very chill. You're relaxed. It's that level of intensity that you get. I mean, a little bit more from PUBG. It's a little bit more tactile,
Yep,
slower
yep.
paced, but definitely Titanfall is like that high, just full intensity. Let's go. So
Dude, yeah.
I mean, I definitely would align with your viewpoint. Some of the guys here from the stream know that how I got started is basically the same concept, that there are just so many people out there who are just doing the wrong thing, creating the wrong vision, and being what I like to say poor mentors to people out there that exist in the world who are looking up to these content creators as influence. And it's weird that we use that word influencer, and I think it goes beyond just influencing for a product, influencing for an ideal. I think it goes to the point of influencing personality. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
how do you feel as a media platform going forward? How do you feel about the ideal that us as individuals, as content creators, and anyone who exists out there, not just you and me, that we're shaping the future?
Um, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of crazy when you start to realize how much like how much impact we can have. Especially, I don't know, maybe you and others feel the same way where uh you get your channel might grow, but you don't necessarily always feel like you have a big impact. And that I feel like that can almost be dangerous because when you don't feel like you have an impact, you tend to not care so much about the content or the personality that you're portraying. And I don't know, it's very interesting to see the changing of how streamers are essentially working towards that quote unquote celebrity status, right? Where you can have so much influence on a huge body of people. And yeah, I don't know. It's a tough uh, fence to walk, in my opinion, because I like to think that I'm here to just entertain at times, but at the same time, that's definitely not the case always. There's a lot of people that look up to us, and yeah, it's I don't know, it's a hard one to wrap your head around. I feel like.
Absolutely, but I think that you say it very elegantly in the sense that we have opportunities, we have obligations as humans to other humans to approach the situation with just a very you know broad spectrum analysis of what we're capable of, what we're capable of doing to other people, and how we're capable of molding and shaping literally humans as they grow. So I think it's smart of you and wise of you to see that from from streaming. Now, when you said you got started, just for the background, was it on Twitch? Was it on Mixer, YouTube?
Mixer. I
Okay.
started on Mixer. Yep.
So, like, when you first started watching streamers, that's where it was?
So when I first started watching streamers, the first streamers that I watched were Twitch streamers that posted their videos on YouTube.
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
I would watch because I watch tons of you. I mean, I watch an ungodly amount of YouTube. And so I would watch these videos, and at the end of their videos, they'd say, "Hey, if you'd like to come check this live, here's my address." And so I just started thinking, I'm like, what do you mean live? Like, I don't know. It was kind of hard for me to wrap my head around it because I was so used to watching produced videos. And so I started watching them a little bit on Twitch. And mind you, I mean, during this whole time, the thing that really got me into streams and stuff was, I mean, I went through a divorce and was at one of the lowest spots in my life. And I just needed human interaction, but I was too broken to go out and get it.
My
And
condolences,
so,
by the way.
oh, thanks. And so streaming really provided a very like safe haven to kind of like branch out without um putting myself into situations that I just wasn't ready to handle. And yeah, so I don't know. Definitely first started watching Twitch. I don't know why. Well, I think the reason that I didn't start on Twitch was because of how easy it was to start your stream on Mixer from Xbox. Like you just start broadcasts and it just
Push
you're
the button and go.
live. Yep.
Yeah.
And then once all the like love and support came in from the Mixer community, it was like I didn't even think twice about am I on the right or wrong platform. It just felt right.
I know exactly how you feel. I know that Mixer has always offered me more. I would say a broader sense of community or that real human interaction, that real human relationship that you just feel here and you don't see on Twitch as frequently. I mean, you go to even the smaller streams, and a lot of it's just flooded with, emotes and random lulls and haha you suck and just that like toxic behavior. That,
Oh yeah.
one thing that I did realize in streaming is like, you would see a hype zone and you'd have like 300 people in chat like, yeah, you got this, let's go, like the whole energy. And it was just a complete shift. And so my brain was, okay, how do we remove toxicity from literally the future of our own human existence unless I, take it upon myself to nurture a community, to nurture an involvement to where people feel like they have a proper home and can feel like they're respected, involved, appreciated, the whole nine yards, to where their opinion matters, because that's how you can help an individual grow. And so Mixer was that home for me, and it sounds like it's the same thing for you.
No,
So
absolutely.
so I have to ask then, in transitioning over to an IRL shift, in transitioning over to being able to do, music creation, content creation in that platform. Hey, how you doing, Tech Junkie? What do you feel like has been the major challenge for you in comparison to, Twitch, where, obviously IRL or, just chatting is exploding? How do you feel like that's been a challenge for you in being a content creator on a platform that doesn't necessarily nurture that yet?
I like that you said yet, because I'm not going to lie, my IRL streams have been blowing up. Like they're hands down one of my I mean, if I'm gonna look at it like as a like analytic type thing, they're hands down my most successful streams when it comes to people talking, even follows, subs, stuff like that. Like it's a much more interactive place um, that I've found. And the reason that I kind of transitioned into it was because I, when I played music, I caught myself just always wanting to talk to chat. But when you're singing and playing music, you can't hold conversations. And then when I would hold conversations, I'd start to feel bad that I was streaming in under the music category, but not actually playing music at the time. And so I was like, all right, well, maybe we just do web shows then. Maybe we should just try some web shows. And so kind of transitioned into the web shows and kind of found that I don't know, it felt like we were actually hanging out, which is one of the things that I guess I kind of love about streaming, and I really love about Mixer and being the FTL, that you can hold conversations so well with the chat. And so it's, I feel like the only things with IRL that have been very challenging would be getting over my social anxiety, because it might not seem like I'm a socially anxious person, but I'm also sitting in my basement in a very comfortable spot behind a camera.
Very elegant chair, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Likewise, likewise. I love it. But so the hardest thing, which I did this actually live, is uh we're like, all right, let's go to a couple different locations and just go stream. And so we went to a couple different coffee shops, and it was funny because I'm sitting here talking to chat like, guys, my social anxiety is through the roof. I'm freaking out right now, but like, let's get through it, right? Like, because I want to be an IRL streamer, I want to be better at it, and the only way to get through some things, you're not gonna achieve something by not going through a hard time. Like, almost everything good comes with some sort of sacrifice or some sort of learning moment that you have to kind of overcome to capture what you're reaching for. And so for me, it was like, if I want to be good at IRL streaming, I need to be good at battling my social anxiety. And I wasn't really prepared to do that by myself, but luckily I've got a very supportive community, and they just kind of helped me through it. And it's just been a fun learning experience. I don't know. Uh, yeah.
So would you say that's been your biggest challenge in streaming in general, is trying to overcome some of the social awkwardness, the I guess the restraint, or the divisiveness that we sometimes have in having to go outside of our I would say comforts, or our boundaries of comforts, and say, like, this is something I want to do. And then how do you feel like, I know obviously you said it's helpful, but like, how do you feel about the attachment in FTL? Do you feel like you're having a more tangible relationship, just as it were, as if you were in front of the individual, that you feel like you've got a real bond with this person, that what their struggles are, that what where you guys stand in a relationship? I'm having a great day, this person's not having a great day, and I can tell. And how do you feel like that affects your day in and your day out, in how you work to achieve your goals?
Um, I mean, I would say that like the FTL would be like one of the number one things that really helps it feel like a real conversation. And now, mind you, there's so many more things to stream, and I know that, I mean, you're a streamer yourself, so you know this too, but there's so much more to streaming than when you're live. There's so much more, like an insane amount more than just while you're live. I would say I usually try to work about 8 to 10 hours a day. And some people would be like, well, but your streams are only 4 hours long. And it's like, well, yeah, after my stream, I mean, even before my stream, I'm on Discord, trying to, connect with the community on there. Trying to hit up my Instagram, trying to check out the Twitter, and then you go live, and you go live for 4 hours or so, and then it's like, okay, now let's go host somebody. Let's go try to, interact in some of these communities. And so part of my 8 to 10 hour work today includes watching streams. And I feel like some people don't understand that, and that there's, yeah, so I feel like a lot of people think that streaming is just like, you click stream, you go live, and you make tons of money. And it's like, this is not at all how it works. But that's, I guess it's cool that you think that way, but uh, definitely gonna be a struggle. Um, but yeah. How big is he?
Bro, the biggest, the
The
biggest.
biggest.
So I then getting to the point, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm fully aware, but like explaining it to the audience that this is a full-time job. You know, this is an investment, and I tote it a lot. Like someone comes in and they say, hey, what could you say is the best thing or the best option, you know, for trying to start as a streamer? And most of the time I say, like, honestly, don't even hit the go live button. Start investing time, start talking to people, start going into a chat, and you should spend as much time outside of the stream somewhere doing something, engaging with an audience as you are streaming. And they're like, yeah, but then I would be doing that like 100 hours a week. I'm like, then you better be doing it 100 hours a week.
Well, welcome to the club. Like, yeah, it's, I mean, a lot of it, to give a really good example of how, because I feel like a lot of people think that follows only come from streaming, and that's a complete lie. I have two prime examples. Two of my mods, GoFish and well, I guess Passmanol has been streaming some now, but GoFish has never streamed, has almost 200 followers. Okay. Well, that's because she's very interactive in chat, and people like to follow people that show personality. And the only way to, if you think that the only way to show personality is through your stream, then like you're missing the concept of community, and like just trying to engage in everyone in Mixer. Instead, you're kind of looking at it as like, oh, I'm the best, and if you're not watching me, then you don't know what you're doing. And it's just, I don't know. Yeah. Something like that.
I think that there's something to be said. Now, if you look over at, let's say, like Twitch, for example, there are a lot of streamers that are on there that, you know, they can invest the time, they expend the time to, you know, farm the clout, right? Shep, thanks for the host. They farm the time to get clout. And that's fine. Like, obviously that works. They're just playing the psychological bit that they know that people like drama, that they know that they like tea, you know, whatever. And that's cool. Like, that's still a smart business, and it helps them achieve their goals. Whether or not it's the moral business might be a different factor.
Yep.
But you see the most loyalty and the most involvement from a true community from a stream such as yourself, from one that's devoted to the individuals who comprise it, than just the creation and push of a business in sales. So like, I think you're definitely on the right bounds. And when you say, as a kind of a cadence to it, that, you know, it's not the biggest category yet, I foresee that streaming in general as a whole in an IRL category will be the largest category as again a whole. And you see that already from YouTube content creators who've been blowing it up, just doing live streams of them, you know, cracking jokes at people, or, you know, playing pranks or doing whatever. It's because that's our humor interaction.
Like, the just chatting thing on Twitch is a very clear set of numbers being like, it's going to blow up. It's just a matter of who wants to be the people running it, like, because it's not huge on Mixer yet. But I don't know. I have tons of streamers that will say, man, I was going to stream on Mixer, but there's not an audience there for that game. And I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be the front runner then? Like, you could be the one building the audience, but instead you want to ride on somebody else's coattails, which that's fine. But you're playing a different game at that point. And so it's like, yeah, I don't know.
No, you're right though. Like, I mean, it's definitely about the fact that, you know, you see an opportunity. I mean, this literally is business 101. You see an opportunity to sell a product that no one else is selling. Sell it.
Yeah,
like,
especially if you're passionate about it. Oh man.
No, I completely agree. So, oh, sorry, I didn't know if you were going to say anything else, but no. So, what do you feel like? What do you feel like has been the biggest struggle then about, I guess, you know, setting up your turf, throwing up the fence, and saying, no, I'm the IRL streamer, and I'm going to be the IRL streamer. Sorry, the disco music is going. I apologize. Thank you guys. What does it take to be an IRL streamer? What do you feel like has been the largest challenge in that? Now, I know you had said, like, hey, getting over social anxiety has
Right.
been one of the bigger challenges. But how do you foresee your future in persisting through the category, persisting to set yourself up as the number one choice when it comes to IRL streams?
I guess some of the main things that I'm running into is that I don't want to be scripted. I like to. I guess one big thing that I've noticed with streaming is that we all crave human attention and interaction, and so if I were to script everything, you essentially rob the human interaction out of it. Even if you're trying to like form a, good story that contains human interaction, it's just like everybody can see through it. They will feel that it's fake, and so one of the things that I would say is the biggest like struggle is not running off a script and trying to avoid lulls. Because I mean, we are still streamers. We are streaming, providing some sort of entertainment, and when I run out of things to talk about, or when I think that, oh shoot, the stream isn't exciting enough or whatever, or let's say I'm going for a calm vibe, like, oh, the stream isn't calm right now, like what do I do? And so trying to adapt on the fly to keep things going can be very difficult. And I guess another hard thing would be is that I'm an open book. I share almost everything about my life, and that can get really hard when I mean I have depression, and so when you throw that into the mix, it gets hard because I don't know when it's appropriate to talk about my problems, because I'm not trying to gain sympathy off of it, but I also want to share my life. And so it's like it's this weird fence to walk of like, oh, do I tell everybody all my problems, or do I hide some of the problems, or and I don't want to hide anything, but I don't know, it gets to be really weird when you try to share a mass amount of your life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's always, just in any real relationship, a relationship that you have with a person in general, a lot of people find that, they want to be able to share, but there are some things that you just don't feel comfortable with, that you haven't gotten to that phase in the relationship with. But at the same time, like, I get your struggle, the fine walking of the line that, where do I stop and where do I begin? That you want to be able to foster again a deeper relationship with an individual, and one of the greatest ways to do that is to just be real. Like, we all crave
Yeah.
that loving human interaction, and sometimes it takes being sincere and being honest about what you're dealing with, what your struggles are, in order to grow that relationship. And I think that's one of the ironic points of the struggle of adaptation, the struggle of transparency, is that it helps you keep that up, but it's sometimes just hard to let that go.
Yeah,
And
no,
so,
absolutely.
like, I feel it. I really feel that, because I think people out there can exist to put up a show, exist to put on a mask, a face, whatever, and then create the entertainment value that way, and that's great. But, like, you're challenged, you're struggled to do so much more because you're revealing everything that you are. And so I get it, and I think that, again, in the long term, you stand to gain the most because you've built up that background, that the moment you change, a lot of the other streamers walk away, that they're not interested anymore because they've been attracted to what they've seen. And then the moment they get rid of the facade, the curtain,
Right, it just all of a
it's gone,
sudden,
and now the
yep.
show falls apart. But so, like, you've built sincerity in yourself, and so people are only there for you. And it's something that Extreme Tattoos has said in my chat, like, we don't care what you're playing, we don't care what you're doing, if you're here, we're there. And so I get it, I agree with your direction, and I think it's fantastic for you to take the time to invest on
Jeez.
Mixer to do that.
That's great. Uh, got a little chills hearing you say that, because just, yeah, I don't know, it relates, because I hear it from my chat too, where they're just like, dude, it doesn't matter what you're streaming, like, we're here for you. And it's like, oh my god.
But
That's a hard one
that's
to
real
accept.
people, man.
Right?
That's the real position, and that's what I love. I mean, I started looking at some of the backdrop of Twitter, and then I went through a couple of your VODs in the process of just kind of getting prepared. And like I know how VP stands. A lot of the people in VP are very transparent. There are very few of the VP members which Variety Pack. Sorry, I'm using an acronym. Variety Pack's a stream team for anyone who isn't aware, but a lot of the Variety Pack members are very transparent. They're very upfront about their problems. Like when I first walked into Socket Monk's stream, he said he was going through a divorce, and he and I had kind of built up a part of our relationship because I was doing the exact same thing. So like,
My condolences.
it's one of those it's one of those things that you create that sense of a bond, but you don't get that from every other streamer that's out there in the world. They're just there because they're trying to make money, and
Yep.
so I think that your business model, to just call it that, and again be transparent.
Yep.
Like you spending the time to build up your community through Discord, doing Twitter, doing your live streams through IRL, you just being focused on the interaction of your community helps to again foster the growth of the platform, but foster your own personal growth, which helps you then become a better businessman.
That's the hopes of it.
But no, you're
Thank you.
succeeding.
No, thank you for that. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're a partner. You have people who are willing to show up and continue to be there to support you. Like you are the positive mentor, just as you sought to be when you first started doing it. Now it's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah. Time and dedication still. That's one thing that I will always say. Like, I don't know. It it's not that you ever get to a point that you can just stop trying. You like, if that makes sense. Like just
Community
because
with
I've
values. That's
like
a good word.
yeah, like just because you cultivate something off of something, like you have to continue with that. And so I don't know. It's just interesting because almost I feel like the mindset is that the further along you get, or the quote unquote more successful you get, the less work that you have to do. But it really ends up being the opposite. You end up doing way more work than you did when you started. But the thing is you have to start looking at it as, is this what I want? And if it's something that you want, then it's totally worth the extra work.
So hard question.
Yeah.
Is it?
What's that?
Is it?
Oh, is it worth it?
Is it what you want? Is it worth it?
Oh, is it? As of right now, it is. I've done. I don't know. I can't. It's so hard to describe like the worth of it. I mean, the things that have happened in my life in the past year, I never would have expected to happen. I don't know, that it's crazy, and the amount of people that have like been inspired by something that I've done or been helped or something. It's totally worth it. And I mean, I'm not the first streamer to say this, but I'm not rolling around in money.
Of course.
Not even close. And I think there's this common misconception of like, people will look at like a stream or like see like, oh, they've got this stuff and this stuff. They've got it made. They've got it made. They're living the life of luxury. It's like, oh my gosh, that's such a lie, or like a fake picture almost, which I try to remind everybody, like, hey, just because I have a cool camera angle doesn't mean that, I've got everything figured out, or whatever the case may be. Like, and yeah.
It's as Fat Burrito said, and I would definitely agree. It's a grind. Like every piece of equipment you get, from the chair to the Pikachu to the microphone, like it's all part of it.
Yeah.
And so,
No,
like,
definitely.
it's all part of the image that you create. But just as you said, you watch a person set up and they've got 20 grand or 5 grand or whatever invested into it, and people don't realize that like that person's, honestly, a lot of those people are probably in debt. Like
Right.
they're using that because of, I need to get ahead. I need to push myself one step further so that way I can get the next leg up to beat the competition. And it's a lot of competition. You have to think like, you've got McDonald's and Burger King and whatever, and you've got all these burger joints, and that's great and all, but when you go to the point of G Money, thank you for the host, by the way, when you go to the point of sitting there and looking at content creation as a whole, it everyone's doing the same thing. Giggling Harp, thank you so much for the follow. Everyone's doing the exact same thing. And so, like, it's not just, oh, this guy's selling burgers and Taco Bell is selling tacos and this guy's selling steak dinners, and they're all completely different. It's like they're all streaming, they're all a community, and they're all trying to win.
Yeah.
And so, how do you put yourself in front of the next guy? And so, I get it. Like that's one of the largest challenges is getting the leg up. So I understand that the point of investments, not just in personal time, but in money, being engaging with people, again, trying to build relationships, and doing the whole 9 yards. It's all one piece after another that adds up to that puzzle. And it isn't just as simple as hitting a go live button and calling it a day. And we're not rolling around in cash unless you're, Ninja or Dr. Disrespect, who've been doing it for a decade.
Well,
and
and
I think
that's
that's
another
the other
thing
thing.
too, is they've put so much time into and
Exactly.
so much work and time. Like I don't know. So I guess to kind of like bring up just the amount of time and stuff like that. So with what's happening in the world today and everything with the pandemic, there's been tons of musicians out of work. And so they've all been streaming on like Facebook and stuff like that and getting tons and tons of donations, right? And I was trying to explain this to my buddy because he was like, "Dude, I want to start streaming." And it's like, "Well, why do you want to start streaming?" And he's like, "Dude, look at how successful these people are." And I'm like, "You're watching somebody that built a fan base for years. They didn't just start streaming and make a ton of money. Like that's not how it worked. They built a fan base for years around their band and then called out to them and said, "Guys, we're in trouble. Can you come help?" And
Right.
they all came and helped. That is a way different, you cannot compare streaming to that. Um now mind you, they are live streaming, but they built a fan base in a way different way, and like so you can't just expect, "Oh, I'm going to do my first live stream and make thousands of dollars like this band that I just watched." It was literally their very first live stream and they made thousands. And it's like, "Well, yeah, but they also had people that were willing to pay hundreds of dollars for their tickets like to a show that got canceled, and so instead of spending that money for the show, they donated it to the band." um and so yeah, just that idea of you got to put in time to build an audience wherever you plan on streaming or any type of business. You have to put in tons of time to build and curate a customer base. Yeah.
Apparently, there's jokes in the chat. Sorry, I'm
Nice,
missing
nice.
the
No, you're good,
punchline.
you're good.
But no. So like the sorry, I was trying to think there. The band investment. So you said you create music. Obviously, I've watched you play the guitar.
Yep.
The guitar bit. Do you have a band outside of streaming that's helped to influence you being able to play music on stream?
I do not. I do not.
Okay.
So I've been playing guitar for like 15 years now, and I've only been playing in front of people for the past 2 years. It really took me going through a divorce to like play in front of people, to
Gotcha.
lose. Like honestly, what the divorce did in my life was give me this attitude of I don't care what anyone thinks anymore. My life is ruined. It doesn't matter anymore. Like that's where I was. And having that feeling allowed me to play my music in front of people and not care if they liked it or not. And so then I just wrote songs to just kind of cope with my feelings. And yeah, I mean, honestly, Mixer was kind of the first set of people that I ever played in front of.
Gotcha.
And yeah, kind of helped encourage me to continue on. And I mean, if it wasn't for the Mixer community, I mean, I released an album last year because of it. And yeah, I don't know, it's just been crazy. I never thought that I would be a musician that plays in front of people. Like for the 10 years before, or the 12 years before I started playing in front of people, I just played because I would just wanted to play the guitar. I don't know. I never thought that I'd be a performer or an entertainer.
Well, so you you never thought you'd be an entertainer. Is it since streaming that you have more realized that?
Yeah, I mean, so I've always been like a show off, but I never thought I'd like make money doing it, if that makes sense. I just like making people laugh or smile. And so like yeah, like when I was growing up and stuff, I mean, I never thought I would be an entertainer. I liked doing whatever I was doing. Like I used to ride BMX all the time, so I'd do tricks and stuff. And like I don't know, I just like I just liked making people laugh and smile, and that I think that uh, that has really kind of grown a lot more with streaming, and just make me realize how apparent it is in my life.
So I know Lino said it. You know, Extreme Tattoos has pretty much said it that one of the goals that I always like to live by is, if I can get on and put a smile on someone's face, like I'm doing my job. So is that like your focus? Like what's your ritual in getting into streaming? Before everything starts up. I know you said you like engaging through Discord and with the community. What's your drive? Like what's your thing that you gets you in the headspace? Is there a song? Like
Um,
what's the way you get ready?
I mean, I guess a lot of the times I will like purposefully not get ready because again, I'm trying to cultivate a non uh I don't want it to feel scripted. And so
Right.
sometimes I will wake up and be like, I am not I am not ready to stream. That's a perfect time to hit go live because then I can show people like, hey, when I wake up, I'm a grumpy, miserable person too. Let's wake up together and kind of get this day started. Like this is how my day starts. And so for instance, for today, I had no ritual, we'll say. My ritual was actually performed while live.
Oh, okay.
And so usually when I like right before I start stream, if I'm streaming from my computer, I'll hit the go live and I'll have a starting soon screen play for about 10 minutes. And I go make my coffee, step outside for a smoke, and then come downstairs and start up stream. But for today, or on streams that I'm using my phone, uh, I don't have a starting soon screen. And so I kind of take advantage of that and use my starting ritual as my like starting soon. And so I'll turn it on and be like,
Coffee.
yo, what's up guys? We're gonna start a stream soon. And I, literally brew the coffee on stream and then step outside for a smoke and then be like, all right, let's head downstairs and talk for a little while. And so do I have a ritual? Yes, but sometimes I blatantly ignore it to hopefully cultivate a little more realness, I guess.
No, yeah,
Um,
I watched one of your I watched one of your videos the other day. You were walking into the kitchen and your roommate was in there, and chat was kind of blowing up about that, and you were literally brewing a cup of coffee, and he was like, "No, no, 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 it's fine, it's fine. You're doing your thing. That's fine." I know. I thought it was funny, but no, yeah. So I see that. I mean, it's definitely something that like you said, you've cultivated that. It's oh my god, you guys have an emote out of it. That's funny.
well, that's because yeah, I'm really embarrassed to admit that I live with my parents, and so I don't want to. I would never say that like while live. That would be crazy. And so I just tell everybody that I live with my roommates.
Oh, okay, gotcha,
But
gotcha.
then I also like joking about it because I'm gonna tell you anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I got a weird sense of humor, and I really liked the movie Grandma Boy. That's where I got it from. So.
So what's your favorite movie then? If Grandma Boy's definitely up
Um,
there, what
I
if you had to
man,
pick?
if I had to pick of a favorite movie, I don't even know. That's such a hard thing to pick. Honestly, man, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I haven't watched movies in like 3 years or so. Actually stopped watching movies and TV. Uh, but oh my gosh, I don't even know. That's such a tough question. I feel like I'm honestly probably a big like Disney type movie fan when it comes to it, just due to the amount of layers that they have in them. Just being able to reach out to tons of different age groups at the exact same time, and still I don't know.
So
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Sure. I love
Aladdin's honestly, I mean, it's a pretty solid movie, but like I know Disney always has like the it always has the focus. Like everything's always the same characters, the same model, the
Right,
same
right, right,
ideal,
right.
the same everything. And the concept of I don't know, like even looking at Star Wars now, they all have, you know, the wise old sage, they always have the hero, there's the princess, you know, who's in peril, and the evil king or queen, or you know, whatever it may be, the divisive character, and they all have that like same model. So like is it just Aladdin for a specific reason? Like what brought
Um,
you to Aladdin?
I mean, I guess a couple of reasons. One, I was a thief when I was growing up, so I could get to relate to him, you know.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
and the fact of like I don't know, I just liked it, I guess. I don't know. I loved the music in it. It was always fun, and just the idea of like yeah, I feel like it has to do with just relating to the aspect of like trying to fight those the you know, should I do good or should I do wrong, or should I be myself, or should I, you know, try to be this fake person to win over this thing or whatever. And I felt like there was just tons of things that I could relate with him, and just the whole story itself, especially now when I'm older. It's kind of crazy to me to kind of see where it relates, and how I pretty much found this girl that you know I thought was going to be with me the rest of my life, but then you know kind of went away, and it was just you know I was like, well, was I being myself? And I don't think I was, which is kind of interesting to see. And it wasn't until after that all went down that I was really trying to find my true self, and luckily Mixer has been very gracious in accepting me for who I am rather than trying to put on a show all the time. So
So in the process of putting on a show, what do you feel like is your next? What do you feel like is your next largest struggle with growing the stream, or what's the next goal? I know you brought up that you had goals for the end of the year and that you weren't going to be going to PAX.
yep.
Um, you weren't going to be going to PAX. Like, what's the primary drive or the focus for this year for MrWildStarfish?
So the goals that I wrote down at the beginning of this year were I really wanted to go meet CF Live. He's another streamer on here. And he was a huge inspiration in the very beginning of my journey. And I feel like we're just this revolving thing of inspiration where we just revolve around each other. And so one of the goals was to hopefully meet him. And he lives up in Canada. So that was kind of my idea of if I was going to make some money for PAX, I was going to use it to travel up there. Let's see, released some new music, which we do have a new song that I've been working on the past 2 weeks or so. Hoping to release that. I'm not quite sure on when
So,
exactly.
do you do that through like SoundCloud or something?
Spotify,
Oh,
or well,
Spotify.
all major things. Yeah. So last November, which yeah, I recorded and released my very first album here on and that was a process in itself that I probably normally takes, and this is just I don't know the actual numbers, but let's say it would take a month to create an album. By by doing it all live on stream, it took me at least 3 months. it it made the process so much
Thanks for the host.
longer than it probably needed to be, but it was cool because I was able to share like a lot of the struggles. Because I feel like a lot of people think that like they just hear the song and they just assume that it just like happened that way, and it's like no, we poured hours into this like to make it sound like that. And so yeah. um
Do you
but
have like a name on Spotify or anything like that?
MWS, all capitals.
Come on.
Um,
These
MWS.
views.
Otherwise, the album would be a minor phase. There's I think there's two MWSs on there,
Gotcha.
2 or 3, but that's my artist name MWS, and then the album that's on there is a minor phase, and that's on all that it's on like 150 different sites. So like Google Play, Amazon Music, iTunes, Spotify, all those.
Nice. Oh, nice. Thanks, Whisper. That'll help. So
Thanks, King
I
Caesar.
wanted to check it out after the fact so that way I could at least get an idea
No, I
of what's going
appreciate it.
on.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So what was I? Sorry, I had a
yeah,
list here.
the goals
Go
for
ahead.
the year. The goals for the year.
Yeah.
The only other one that I had, which I wrote this at the beginning of the year. Right now, it's not looking like it's going to be good, but end the year debt free. One of the main goals there. But yeah, unfortunately, due to I don't know, the world, we'll see how that one goes. I'm not too concerned about it either way. But yeah. So those are things that I was just kind of focusing on. And when it comes to the stream, one of my main goals is to just try to cultivate my IRL streams more this year. We're going to be doing lots of them.
So how often do you do IRL streams in comparison to other content?
Right now, 90% IRL streams.
Okay.
Right now.
So when you say cultivate more, do you mean like spend more time in IRL when you're doing that, or stream more often? I know you said you stream about 4 hours a day. Is that right?
Yeah, it really depends. Yeah, so because I stream daily, it will sometimes it's like less, like 2 hours. But yeah, I feel like the main thing when I want to cultivate it more, is I want to be around my town more. I want to get out more and just do things not in my studio, and kind of share that with people. Because I know, so last year, before I've got a nicer IRL streaming setup than I did last year, but we went on hikes and stuff, and hikes are good, but there was more of a, I don't know, I wasn't around people. And so for me, it was really easy to go on a hike because I'm walking around carrying a camera and there's nobody looking at you.
Camera, you say?
Phone.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. But it's on, here, I'll just grab this guy here real quick. So here's my IRL streaming setup. You know, real fancy, real fancy. I know.
Wait,
Crazy.
is that the Sunpack? The Sunpack one?
This is
It's a Manfrotto.
Yeah, Manfrotto.
Oh, dude, the only thing I didn't like about the Manfrotto is that it's got that ball mount. So in the top, there's like the weird little ball mount set with the because if you lose that, there's no way to get that back.
This isn't even made for it. Those are hair ties.
Oh, that's class. That's class right
so
there.
That it fits in there. Because
that's definitely top of the line.
Yeah. Hey, make do with what you guys got. Don't wait for like super expensive stuff. Like if you have an idea to make some content and you've got the bare minimum tools to do it, do it. What's stopping you?
Sometimes that's part of the struggle, dude. Like I've seen people who take what is it, like pantyhose and things like that, and they stretch it out and wrap it through like, you know, hair ties, and then they put that around their microphone in order to create like the foam insert. And you're like, all right, I see the ingenuity here, a little MacGyver action.
Yep. I remember before I had my green screen lights and my green screen setup, I used a green towel and a work light with a old lampshade over top of it as my light source. And you know, was it very good? No, but it got me to where I'm at now. So you know what? Worth it.
Every piece of the puzzle. I mean, so like one of the things that I like to tell people too is like people love to see the story. People love to see the transition or the growth piece. And you know, just again to be transparent, like sometimes I'll make content that's, you know, all in one segment, and then as I know that like, oh, I need to improve on this in the future, I know what I need to do after I've already made the content. Like, so I've got a week or 2 weeks worth of stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm still going to release it because it's made, it's already crafted, but I know what I need to change in the future to make this look better, to give myself a better experience.
Well,
so like,
I feel like, oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go
Uh,
ahead. Go
I,
ahead.
yeah, I feel like without doing that experience, you're never going to learn what you could have done better. Because there's only so much that you fabricate in your mind and, run through like, oh, well, this will be bad or this will be bad. Like, you never know until you do it. And on top of that, there's so many things you're going to have to troubleshoot that you had no idea were going to be a problem.
Right. No, I think that I think that it's smart. I think it's a good model in a fashion. Like I started out in my original stream setup. Like I have a video on Discord somewhere of me playing PUBG, and it was the traditional no webcam frame, no anything, like no setup, like windows in the background, horrible lighting, just garbage. And like we've grown to where we are, but like then people can see that like slow phase forward,
Yeah,
all the
no,
little things that
definitely.
you do in order to change everything, moving up. And I think it's nice to see that for your audience, for yourself, to know what
No,
you have done, what you have accomplished, and what you want to be able to do in the future based off of the time that you've invested. You said that it's as much as you have, much time as you put in order to succeed. And the more time that you want to put in, the more that you're willing to grow, the more that you're going to grow. And so like I think it's good. I think it's good to start out with the towel, to start out with the the
it
uh
really is.
the bare bones.
I mean, so the other day I was actually hanging out in a stream, and they were talking to some people, and there was a question from chat of a guy saying, "Hi, I was thinking about starting a music stream, and I'm just curious what kind of equipment do I need?" And I was like, a couple of the guys that were on stream were like, you should get a mixer, an interface, a nice mic, and like all this stuff. And I was like, well, one, uh, what kind of instrument do you play? It's like, oh, well, mainly acoustic guitar and singing. I was like, well, you just need a phone. And a bunch of people were like, no, a phone is not going to have good enough audio. It's not going to be good enough. You're going to need at least this so you can plug in, and at least this. And it was like, dude, guys, I I don't want to like pull this card, but like I literally started my stream from my phone, and
Right.
I'm a musician, and streaming from my phone got me a PC donated to me. So you don't have to go like, people are gonna like, if you make good music, I don't care what microphone you're on, people are going to love it if you make good music. If you don't make good music and you're trying to hide the fact that you don't make good music, then yeah, you're probably going to need a mic, some effects, a mixer for sure. You're going to need a whole bunch of shit to attempt to hide that you're bad at music. But if you're good at music, I don't care what kind of mic. The Beatles made millions and millions off of microphones that were way less technologically advanced as the one in my phone right now.
Right.
So if they can do it, then you can do it too.
Right.
And again, like, people will love to see like, oh wow, he's streaming off just a phone and it sounds this good. I want to support him, and I want to see what will happen if we can upgrade this.
Right.
Like, and people will really start to help you out. And yeah, I mean, I can't even describe, like, I got a PC donated to me, and that then the channel continued to grow to the point where that PC was actually not strong enough to do the things that I wanted to stream. And then I had got another PC. And so it's like, you don't always just jump to the top of the line with, money doesn't fix everything. Especially when
Right.
you're trying to cultivate a community. Like, I mean, that could be also said for giveaways. I mean, how many followers come back if you're just doing giveaways, right?
3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah. Like, and they only come back because they want more free shit. Like,
Sometimes I
right?
know.
No, yeah, I'm not saying like everyone, but like, I mean, yeah, it's a dangerous game when you're just pouring money
Absolutely.
into something.
Absolutely. No, I
um
mean, so like I do giveaways
yeah,
pretty
I'm not
regularly.
yeah, I'm not like bashing
No,
giveaways,
absolutely.
because it's really good to give back to your community. It really is. It's really important. I mean, I feel like I struggle with that, honestly. Like, I could probably do better at giving back directly to my community. But and I think a lot of that comes from I've been trying so hard to give back to the Mixer community, that I tend to lose focus on the people that are daily supporting me, which
Right.
is probably something that I'm glad that I recognize it, and it's just a matter of how do I figure out how to do this, right? I mean, even in the last couple weeks, I've been trying to push the Mixer brand to a bunch of local people, and I'm starting to realize that, like, man, maybe I should take that time and just give it back to the guys that are watching me, rather than trying to grow the Mixer community more. Maybe I should focus on my channel community more.
Well, and
Which is, yeah.
I feel like that's a challenge, because how do you, because you attract a diverse range of an audience, right? So how do you find out, without being kind of rude almost about it, how do you find out, like, hey, what would this person enjoy for me to try and help them out? They're not a streamer, they're just there to watch. What do they like? That kind of a thing. So do I buy him a shirt? Do I buy him a mug and send it to him? Like, do I just give him a Discord message every day and say, like, hey, I really appreciate you being there last night, thank you so much for the continued support, et cetera, et cetera. Like, how do you give back in any fashion that you really can? And I think it's always the challenge of the streamer, of the content creator, to really kind of discover that. And I think that's harder in a fashion than hitting the go live button, as it were.
Sorry, I wanted to read. Just feeling accepted and valued as a subscriber goes a long way, and enjoying the content. See, that's the, like, yeah, I don't know. It is a really weird, or like, tough spot to be in. Like, I mean, I don't know. I for instance, I have my song requests that you can buy in chat, and so I like to try to give those out. But then at the same time, I almost feel like I'm not giving, like, I don't know. It's not like a tangible thing almost, and so I almost feel like I'm not giving enough, or at sometimes, and I don't know. Definitely. Trying to figure out how to make sure that everybody feels accepted and valued is it's definitely a challenge. I know I try to, I don't know, I try to voice how grateful I am for everybody. I try to do that every stream and try to remind them that, you guys all matter. Like, every one of you all matter. It doesn't matter if you're typing in chat or if you're a person spamming in chat. You guys all matter. And I don't know. I've got tons of lurkers and stuff too, and it's like, how, even for a lurker that is truly there, and I'm not meaning just a person that throws up a tab, right? A person that's lurking, that is watching and consuming your content. How do you thank them? Because you might not even know they're there ever. Every
Right.
once in a while, I get a whisper from one of my buddies saying, "Hey, man, just wanted to remind you that I'm here," and because he doesn't like to type in chat,
Right.
and that's okay. And so it's like, how do I make sure that all those people are, appreciated as well? Yeah, I don't know. There's so many different facets to streaming. I don't know. It's crazy.
Which I would agree. Extreme tattoos, just from obviously talking with Starfish thus far, I would say that I can already feel the consensus of his community, and how they support him, how they feel in him supporting them, and just that relationship back and forth. But I would definitely say that it's just it's how he interacts with his viewer base. And to further your point about lurkers, like, thanks, G Money. Every once in a while, you get the circumstance where you have someone who's just watching. I mean, we've got the hidden mode that's available through Mixer right now. That a person can be sitting there and watching your content. They never show up as a viewer. They never show up on the chat list. They never do anything, and then all of a sudden, it's like, I like cats, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Where'd you come from? But no, yeah, it's always interesting, because you never know who's watching. And that was the one thing that actually, you had said earlier, that I just want to do this in order to try and change streaming, in order to try and change the way we view streaming and how people interact with other human beings who are watching. That you never know who's watching. Like, I could literally have Bill Gates' daughter sitting here watching my content in the background just because it was random roll of the dice. Who
Yep.
knows? Literally no idea who could be, consuming content at any given point in any given time. So why not put on my best face 100% of the time and be professional, be, human, be real, be ready for any moment? Because I need to be ready for any moment. And if you don't take this seriously, I think you're almost setting yourself up for failure.
No,
So
definitely.
I think it's fantastic to have that outlook that, you just have to create your best version of you 100% of the time, or you're not doing it right.
Yeah. Can't disagree with that. And I feel like one of the one of the weird parts with that is that because I'm trying to cultivate this like real non-scripted thing, my
Mm-hmm.
form of professionalism is just making sure that like still providing something real, which is weird because it's almost unprofessional to do that. And so it's like I'm like trying to balance this, like how do we be professional while being completely and utterly unprofessional.
Right. No, but that's part of that. Like when you think of ad lib humor, what is it? Whose line is it
Like,
anyways? Like
yeah, oh,
you
I
have a
love that.
a high
Oh
end
my
tier
gosh.
show, like seeing literally internationally. The concept of it is international, from a British version, they've got their own show, the Canadian, we've got our own like American model. Like you have tons of people who have created Whose Line Is It Anyways, but some of the most obscene things can be said, but it's still aired. So they have to
Right.
be professional enough, but unprofessional enough in the sense of humor and just the reality of the way
Exactly.
that we view the world. And so like, I totally agree. Some of the best moments are created from just absurdity.
Very true, very true. I can't tell you how many times I have said, someday I will not create content that's embarrassing, but until then, it. Like, dang it. But like so much of my good content and that the thing that people love is very embarrassing stuff. But you have to be essentially like open and willing to fall on your face and get back up and let people watch it and then continue on from that. And I think that's where the professionalism comes. Like, yeah, I'm gonna fall on my face, yeah, I'm gonna do something stupid and embarrassing, but it's not gonna end the show right there. We're gonna move on and continue. And so it just I guess that's where some of the professionalism from a very seemingly unprofessional channel would come from, and just making sure that the show continues on.
Well, and I think that's something that you had alluded to earlier, or actually even directly had said that, one of the most challenging pieces is, which welcome back, Sammy. One of the most challenging pieces is adaptation. And so taking the time to be, accepting of any situation, just be focused, be intentful. That's not even right, is it? Is it? I don't even know. Whatever.
I
Be
mean, I know what
intent.
you're saying.
Be intent on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to focus on as an objective, and live it, drive it. So like I think I think that there's always the challenge in us as content creators to just continue to push ourselves further while not compromising who we are, as it
Yeah,
were.
that can be a tough one. Like, you don't want to stray from your morals, which can be difficult sometimes, especially when there's money involved.
So, do you do or have you done any? When speaking of money, have you done any sponsored streams at all?
Um, I have not done any sponsored streams. Not that I can think of. I feel like if I did and I didn't remember it, then well, oops. But no, I don't think I've done any sponsored streams. I've done, I guess, I mean, yeah, I don't think I've done any sponsored streams or anything along those lines.
So, what's the like I like I like the tough question. What's the craziest thing that you've done for a person who says I'm willing to donate X if you do Y? And has been genuine. I'm not talking about like the troll
Right,
who
right, right,
shows up in chat, but
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
I will
Um,
definitely do this if you pour shaving cream in your eyes.
I would say that when it comes to the craziest thing, yeah, it would be backflip. But honestly, I don't think that in terms of craziness, it's that crazy.
Can you do a
But
backflip?
mhm. Yeah,
Oh,
you guys
well.
want to see one real quick?
Oh, Shep. Bro, are we about to throw up a backflip in this interview?
I mean, we can.
Oh my god. Can you do that with the space that you have?
Oh yeah.
Sweet baby Ray sauce.
Here, we'll just do it quick. A little hashtag backflip in the chat. Sure,
Oh my
we'll
god,
do
guys,
it.
blow it up. But give him some support so we can see this done. Oh, he's getting the chair out of the way. Oh, Shep. Oh my god.
Sure. All right. I don't think my feet will hit there. We're gonna turn over this way just a touch.
Oh god. Oh god, stay safe, please. What?
Oh, couldn't catch the hat.
What? Bro! Oh, so glad we recorded this. Savage. Absolutely savage. Now, guys, in all seriousness, I'm subscribing. I'm done. Subscribing. Clicked. Done. Check mark. If you guys haven't taken the opportunity, please feel free. Drop this man a follow. I think that's more than deserving enough. Here,
Seriously, the follow is appreciated either way, you guys. I appreciate y'all.
And anytime that you want to stop by and support, please, same thing. Feel free. You can find him on Twitter. I posted his handle earlier in the process of us doing our interview, going to do our interview. That's up there. You guys know my drill. I've said it a million times. The greatest way to support an individual, a content creator, is they're all free. All of the forms of support, they're all free. So, be it showing up in his stream, dropping by, if you want to subscribe, any fashion, feel free. He's a great gentleman. Obviously, you can tell that he really does care, and he really is concerned and interested, invested in the lives of his community. So show him the love. You guys, dwellers know how we do it out here.
Likewise for all the regulars that are in here from my channel, and please drop. I know I saw some of you guys drop the follows already.
Which, thank you.
Yeah, definitely go give Hammer a chance. Right, he's definitely a genuine guy, and
just a chance. Not anything else. Just a chance.
Yeah, this is the first time that we've hung out and talked together, and this has been awesome. I mean, honestly, feels like I've known you for a while.
Water bottle. No, it's
nice.
it's thrilling to say the least. I think it's great to see other content creators that are real, just straightforward. And real genuine. And I tell all my people all the time that I want to make Mixer the best platform for any content creator that's out there in the world. And I feel like Mixer has the greatest opportunity on the sole basis that they've already created that experience. I should change my title on Twitch. Yeah, no one cares about that. But I want to create the best experience here on this platform, and off the basis that we have community that's literally been weaved into chat from the beginning. And I think that you continue to see that on most of the different channels that you go to. And it's been shocking to see that even Shroud and Ninja and Ewok and some of the people who've switched over from Twitch have continued to bring the positive energy, or a lot of the positive energy, with them, and left a lot of the other people behind.
Oh yeah.
So it's like the people who were loyal, everything's just gotten cleaner, brighter, and better. And so I love that. I love that Mixer has held on to that vibe regardless of bringing that over. And that was one of my greatest concerns in seeing them come over. Was like, oh my God, all the trolls are coming. This is horrible. This is such bad news. But it's turned out well. And I will say, for the benefit of the platform and seeing the level of growth that we have out of it, it's been good. It's been good.
Absolutely.
So how do you see Mixer in the future? How do you see
Um,
Mixer succeeding, and what do you think is their biggest battle over the next, I don't know, year, 3 years?
well, let's see. Um, I would say let's talk about this, I guess, pre-pandemic, because
Absolutely,
things are very weird right now,
especially in streaming.
yeah, things are very weird. I mean, yeah. So I guess pre-pandemic, I would say that just a continual focus on the creators that we have is going to be huge in the impact that Mixer has, because we've got some amazingly talented people that are here that that even started here and have built amazing things. And so I feel like, yeah, just advertising the Mixer brand is going to be very important from their standpoint, right? I mean, it it would be nice if all the Mixer partners were out in their towns trying to get more, doing the advertising for them, but at the same time we all have to run our channels and everything too. And so it tends to be, we just need to get the Mixer name out in the public. um I feel like it's just a matter of time and growth. I mean, it's already substantial enough that I don't think it'll go away. I do think that these next couple of years are going to be pretty um, impactful on whether or not Mixer will continue on for many years to come, like decades, right? Because yeah, if we don't, if something doesn't like uh, exponentially start growing within the next couple of years, I don't know. I don't know if Microsoft would continue pouring money into something. I don't know. That's a tough question. But I guess personally, I've seen just good growth out of it. I mean, mind you, I'm looking a lot at just my own channel and some of my friends, but it does seem like everything is still growing. And so I don't know. I wouldn't be on the platform if I didn't believe that there was a future for it. I would definitely switch. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you gotta be real, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, if I didn't see promise here, I wouldn't stay here. So yeah, I don't know. I just the community is just such a good factor in how positive everybody is. If we lose that, then I feel like we lose what Mixer is all about.
Well, and I think it goes to say kind of the mirror of the concept of the people who are really really strong content creators at a moral core are the people who grow the slowest. Like most of the time in a classic model, you don't see a lot of growth from the people who are very down to earth, very casual, very real, and they don't succeed or blow up like a lot of other people do, and that's
Right.
fine. But you see that from Mixer. They're the slow crawl forward. They're
Hmm.
consistent, but the beautiful thing is just the level of loyalty that you see out of them as well. That they're willing to take the time to talk about it, instead of as a lot of people have said, like the toxic people on Twitch are the type that also hate Mixer just for the sake of it.
Oh
Pink
yeah, I
said
saw
that.
that.
So like, yeah, I would agree that a lot of the people, if you're not on my place, like get out because I don't care about you. And I think that's a horrible method of thinking about it. It should be your greatest concern should be the person who's involved themselves at the dinner table. And Mixer has
Hmm.
thrown their name into the conversation just from pulling Ninja in, from pulling Shroud in, and Ewok and King of Thalion, and all the people who swapped over from Twitch to Mixer. I think you've pulled that into the conversation, and that's the biggest threat. If you don't take that seriously, then you're killing your own business off. You should.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, like it's the sleeping giant, and we're just slowly coming out of the slumber, and it's bound to happen as long as we continue, as you said, to create the sense of community that Mixer seems so fantastic at
Right.
keeping present in that conversation.
Yeah, I truly feel if that goes away, then Mixer is I don't know. It's the one thing that's really been like the thing that set it apart for me. Um, I mean, but I mean that and FTL, but I think FTL helps cultivate that. It helps so much with being making everybody connected and closer, and so yeah.
I think it goes to say from the same thing of FTL. So like I don't know how much you've invested into time or looking into it, but Mixplay runs the same thing for me. It's the way that chat can interact with the streamer. So like as a
Oh
view, I've got lighting, and you're basically breaking the fourth
yeah.
wall to again create the relationship or the bond of the human interaction. To say it's not about the stream, it's not about the game that you're playing, it's about us. You know, the back and forth. And I think that FTL is the big piece of that. I think the community is the big piece of that. And I think Mixplay is the big piece of that, that you can use to create that level of engagement. And at the end of the day, streaming at a core is engagement at a foundation. Like that's what creates that concrete relationship. So I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
you've hit the nail on the head when you say that if we lose that, we lose everything. Then at that point, you have to lose to Twitch because they're the biggest audience.
Well, yeah, you
There's
just
no other
are
choice.
exactly, exactly. I feel like it's our like I don't know, secret weapon, I guess. Not so secret weapon.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, I mean definitely
yeah.
front and center, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree though. Like it's the one thing that, you know, a person goes over from Mixer to Twitch and they're like, "Oh my god, like I've gotten so spoiled by, you know, a 2-second delay that I'm sitting here 30 seconds waiting for a response from my question. Like I'm giving up. I'm going home. I don't even care
Oh yeah.
anymore." I thought I was having a
Yeah.
real conversation with a person, and now I'm just sitting here waiting. So, like, I
Um,
agree. I think that that is the not so secret weapon that really sets it apart in an industry where that's the most important facet. It's just that level of chatting.
no, it really is. I mean, it's the difference between a monologue that you can reply to an actual conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, because I know I used to when I on my last phone I was streaming off of FTL, and it was very hard because I was so used to holding conversations with my chat that once we switched to something that had no FTL, we were like, what is going on right now? Like, it just feels like there's this disconnect between
Yep.
us. Like, why is this, you know, and you could feel it. And it was so weird because it's like, I never felt it before I streamed without it. And then once you streamed without it, it was like, oh my gosh, we need FTL no matter what. How do we do
Mm-hmm.
this? How do we get FTL on whatever we're doing? So yeah, it's just definitely been weird. I get a little taste of Twitch when I'm on Mixer mobile without Wi-Fi. Oh, okay. From the no FTL. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mine's the same way personally. You know, I sit on my mobile device upstairs, and FTL is just automatically non-enabled, and so I'm sitting there trying to like, you know, mind my own business, engage with some random, you know, streamer that I want to support, that I want to interact with, whatever, and it feels horrible. Like I'll sit there and ask a question, and you know, 30 seconds they say something. FTL is faster than light. It's the thing that allows for, you know, streamers to interact with their audience at such a quick pace on Mixer in comparison to other platforms. But so I'll ask them a question and they've already forgotten it by the time they see what I've said in chat. And then the
Yeah.
next
Oh
thing
yeah.
you know, I mean, like I'm bro, I'm short-term memory as well. Like don't get me wrong. You ask me a question and if it's not within like 10
Same.
seconds, I'm gone. So I've got like 3 people who are in chat who are probably constantly reading, just waiting like, all right, this is like an actual thing he might respond to. Let me just remember this because Ham's going to forget. So I need to remind him in 5 seconds. And sure enough, it happens. It's like, you know, Antoine, Extreme Tattoos, Three Fat Samurai, Senepa, Fat Burrito. I've got like a handful of people who are like, Ham, just answer the question. Like, this is what he said. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. How did I not do this? Focus. But no,
Focus.
yeah, so
Focus.
but no, yeah, it's I just I get it. And so like not having FTL in those moments is it's painful because I am all over the place. I do get scatterbrained and you know, trying to stay in line, detail oriented, and just driven. It gets rough. It gets rough when you remove that from the conversation. So
Oh,
I feel it.
definitely.
I think that is our greatest piece.
I'd have to agree. Yeah. Um, yeah.
Well, that's just not possible, Whisper, for the reference point. Because I have my stream room all downstairs and my switches and everything are all downstairs, so that just can't happen.
Rip.
But no, yeah. So I yeah, rip. But no, yeah. So have you ever tried to? I mean, I know you said Mixer's your own. Have you ever tried to stream? Do you create content on other platforms like Twitch or YouTube or anything like that?
So I did try
Besides the music, of course.
I did try a Twitch stream once. And I specifically didn't tell any of my community that I was doing it. Because I wanted to see what it was like to start from scratch again. Yeah, well, and because well, I have so many new streamers that want to know, hey, what can I do? What can I do? What's the next step? What's this? Give me some advice. Can I get my stream started? What do you do to pull viewers in? Or what do you do when you've been streaming to nobody for so long? And it's like, well, I haven't streamed to nobody in a really long time. So I don't know if my advice would even work. And so I, tried a music stream over on Twitch. And I streamed for about in an hour and a half to absolutely nobody. And I sang my heart out. And it was then that I realized, like, damn, I've never streamed music to nobody, because I didn't start my stream from music. I started my stream on video games, created a mini following, and then when I started my music streams, I literally instantly had somebody in there.
Right.
Now, when I streamed on Twitch to nobody for even just the hour, it was like, it felt so degrading. Like, damn, I am not good enough. When in reality, that has literally nothing to do with it. Literally nothing to do with it. And so I could see a lot of new streamers like going out live and getting nobody and then being like, damn, my content's not good enough. And it's like, it's not that your content's not good enough. You just didn't get noticed. And that's nothing that you can necessarily do other than spend a ton of time in the community. And so and that could be either while on stream or off stream. Well, technically both, but like yeah, so it was just very eye-opening to me to see how like struggling those first few weeks or even first few months can really be. And so one thing I've been trying to like advise people is like, what's the best advice for when I'm starting a stream? Go watch some other streams. Go check out some other streamers. Learn what they do. Look and see how they interact with their community. If you're sitting there watching a stream and you're watching something happening and you're like, ooh, I like that. Well, maybe it's something that you should do in your stream. If you liked it as a viewer, then maybe your viewers will like that. And so forth and so on, so thanks, G Money. But yeah, I mean, I feel like
Danger,
one of
thanks for
the
the host.
best things would be is just you have to be a part of the community. I mean, I could say that's probably one of the main reasons that my YouTube channel has basically nothing on it. I don't ever comment on anybody else's YouTube channels. Why would anybody comment on mine?
Right.
I mean, honestly, why I literally never comment on anybody's
thanks you for
YouTube
those.
channel. So like, why would anybody ever comment on mine?
Well, and it's like you said, and I've said, spending time outside of just streaming, you have to invest the time in order to gain the traction, gain the attention. I mean, it's the same thing in the business aspect. You just start the day, you just start opening up a coffee shop and you start selling coffees for $1. You start selling coffees for free, or giving them out just to get people hooked, to get people aware of what product you're offering. And that's the promotional marketing aspect of it. Like, you got to get your name out there.
I mean, even with so for music streams, right, we're trying to figure out a way, to make money off of a music stream. And one of the ways that we found is, if you want to request a song, that'll cost money. And so it's like, okay, well, when I first started doing that, I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna buy any of these. Like, ah, for the first couple weeks, I'm gonna just give them away. If you want to come in, I'll give away some picks, some song requests. And by doing that, it got people to understand, oh, I can request songs in here. And then after, a couple weeks of people requesting songs for completely free, I was like, all right, guys, it's going to be $1 for the song requests. And then after a couple weeks of it being $1, then I bumped it up to 5, which is kind of where the standard is right now along the music industry and streaming. And so it's not like I was like, oh, song requests are $5. And so here, now I'm going to do song requests and it costs $5. Everybody'd be like, what the heck? Why? But by slowly introducing it and understanding that the time is the investment, right? Like, I'm going to be giving away free songs. This is my investment into creating the next step for the stream, which is hopefully having people buy them. And yeah, I don't know. Um, it's a very interesting process because I feel like streaming, you have to do tons and tons of things for free to finally be able to make money off them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know, there's definitely some other business models in this world that do not require that.
Right.
And not to the extent, at least. But yeah, I feel like streaming, you invest so much time for free, where a lot of other companies, your investments are not necessarily time oriented. A lot of them really have to do with money. I mean, if you
Right.
can create a product and all you need is to buy some machine to create that product, and you already have people that are willing to buy it, I mean, that's literally just a money problem.
Right.
But with streaming, I mean, you're providing entertainment, and on top of that, streaming is not as I mean, it's definitely more streamlined now and like in the public eye more than it's ever been. But it is definitely like the Wild West. There's no secure uh, formula that will be like, if you follow this formula, you will be successful.
Right.
It just, there's too much personality involved for it to happen like that, where other business models don't require near as much personality. And yeah.
Well, and so even as you stated, it's not the fault of the content creator. There are content creators out there who've got good content, who are set up for success. They are set up for the capability to grow and to succeed. But it's just not their fault that they didn't get noticed, that they didn't get the exposure. But if you feel like exposure is the greatest piece, how can you set yourself up to guarantee exposure?
Well, I don't know. That gets tough. I mean, exposure is such a hard thing to grasp because, I mean, I feel like some people would say, well, you have to be in the community of a person that is able to like expose you to, a large volume. And it's like, well, but if you go into that community with the motive of trying to get exposure, they're going to see through it and you're not going to get the exposure. So I don't know, it gets so weird to try that. Yeah, I don't think there's ever a guarantee for exposure. I feel like just, I don't know, that's so tough. Be yourself. But then if you say, oh well, be yourself, and then it doesn't work, then people start feeling like, well, I'm not good enough. It's like, dang it, well, I don't know, I feel like there's no single answer to you know yeah, like how can we more guarantee an exposure? I don't know. Yeah, that's such a tough one. That's such a tough one because
So
I
I
mean, yeah.
I feel like you can still guarantee exposure in the same way that you said. Like people are going to see through the facade that you're only interested in, that you're only invested for your own personal gain. However, if you're there as a member of the community, for an example, you said someone in your community was going to start streaming or something like that. Like what was it? Water bottle?
Pass.
Okay. So
Yep,
like
yep.
if you saw that all of a sudden, hey, they're 100% ready, like literally right now they're ready to hit the go live button, you weren't streaming, are you going to go out of your way to try and engage and have all the members of your community who obviously they've spent time in yours go to theirs and then help them out?
I mean, to an extent, yes.
So
To an
they've
extent,
been there
absolutely.
as a friend, as a community member for a long time. What the incentive is, like, you know, for an individual who's invested their time in you, you know, I know you said to an extent, like you can't be there, you know, all the
All the
time, every
time, yeah,
time. And I
because
get that.
it gets
But
hard at that point because you almost create a fake like success for them, and you almost it's almost like stealing it away from them.
well,
And
but
it's yeah.
so in a way, think about it. Let's say they've done that, you know, exponentially. That it's not just your stream; it's 50 streams. They've invested 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week after work, every single day, being present, being active, and being engaged in other people's streams. And then now all of a sudden they hit the go live button after telling a person, you know what, I'm thinking about getting started streaming. You know, their back end goal may have been something different. They may have been trying to, you know, plant the seed that they're, you know, going to do something, and maybe it wasn't the original intention. That they were there for you, they were there for the other individual, they were there for the other, all the content creators that they were watching. But now all of a sudden it's front and center. So they're saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. But you've technically guaranteed success in the sense that if you have 5 people, yeah, no self promo. If you've had 5 people from every stream who are willing to support, then you might be starting day one with 100 viewers. And on a streaming platform, that's stupendous. I mean, you're already lining yourself up for success because you're probably going to get the promotional opportunity as an up and coming streamer, but you're also getting the engagement from the community that already knows who you are as an individual.
Right.
And you're putting yourself probably front page. So, is guaranteeing your exposure possible?
Okay, I guess I would say guaranteeing exposure is possible. Guaranteeing success off that exposure still relies heavily on your dedication and work ethic into your stream and your community. I guess is where I'd kind of stand on that, because yeah, you can definitely get the exposure by hanging out with the right group of people, but that would be like saying just because I hang out with musicians doesn't mean I'm good at playing guitar.
Absolutely.
And so just because you have all these people helping support you, if now mind you, if you go live and you're not very good at entertaining, even if you get a bunch of exposure, it actually could almost maybe even
Yeah, it could kill
possibly
you.
hurt you,
Yeah, no,
because
absolutely.
you get all these people coming in and their first expression or first impression of you is, oh, what is this, like,
Right.
why, what's going on here? And so so I feel like exposure can almost be a timing thing of whether or not it's yeah, I don't know, that's a tough one. I mean, the exposure from the streamers when I first started streaming really helped me learn about music streams and stuff like that. And then once I learned about the music streams, I started interacting with all the musicians and trying to get to know them better. And I can't tell you how many hours I spent watching music streams because I just wanted to learn what they were doing and enjoy and figure out what I enjoyed about their streams. And then I took what I enjoyed about their streams and tried to incorporate it into mine. And then you literally just rinse and repeat that forever and ever.
Well, and I think that's I think that's the eternal quandary that you get stuck in, is that you're just you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I know you said one of your other struggles that you have is that you know, sometimes you might be depressed or anxious. And so how do you feel like, you know, being in a position where you're doing the same thing, does that hurt your emotional state at all?
Um,
I'm sorry if
well,
you don't want to answer, then
no,
that's
no, no, you're fine. I would say that the depression thing, and like, so I do, or like, I stream daily, but you can definitely ask anybody that's a regular. I don't stream the same thing. Like it might feel and like there might be some similarities and stuff, but I actually jump around so much with the amount that I stream. One of the things that I like trying to help show people is that you can stream anything and people will watch it. Now, you might have to get creative in how you strategize that stream, but at the same time, I mean, I've gone on hikes, I've worked on cars, I've built a garage, like done construction. We've just literally gone to coffee shops. I mean, there's so many different things that you can stream, and I just want to try to show people that it's a possibility, because some people don't necessarily, they might have that idea, but until they see it, they're not like, oh, it's possible. And so once they see it, it's like, oh, here, maybe you can draw some inspiration off that. I mean, I'm not a mechanic, but I did do a mechanic stream. So if you're a mechanic, you might do a way better mechanic stream than I would, because I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a guy that I just have ideas and I like showing that some ideas are possible. And I don't know, I just love the creative. It's almost like a puzzle to me, to try to figure out, like, how do I make this entertaining, or how to like, so with the car streams, for instance, I mean, the type of viewers that came into the car stream are way different than the type of viewer that came in for a coffee stream or a hike stream,
Mm-hmm.
or going to the frozen lake. And so just like seeing what you have to do to kind of interact with each specific viewer base,
Come on,
has just been very
these views.
intriguing. Kind of pushes, I guess that's why I feel like I don't do the same thing all the time. And so from a depression anxiety standpoint, I don't know if the monotony of streaming daily is actually something that is hard. It's more or less the fear of sharing how hurt I am. Because again, I don't want to be scripted. And so the hard part with the depression and anxiety is just realizing that I should share, and how do I appropriately professionally share. That's the hard part.
Which, Professor Panda, thank you so much for that beautiful hosty. Greatly appreciate it. Catastrophe, thank you for the host as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you. We're just doing an interview here with MrWildStarfish, just to fill you guys in. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for the comment. So I had one more serious question, and then we can go to the audience if anyone has any questions for myself or for him. Where do you draw your inspiration then, as you kind of started? You draw inspiration almost as if it were a puzzle. Where do you get your inspiration for not only the streams but your music?
Let's see. I guess we'll start with the music.
Mm-hmm.
My inspiration for all of my music is just stories from my life that I have a hard time talking about. And so the reason that I wrote them was because in my heart, I know I need to share this information. I'm just, it gets really hard to talk about stuff. And so I didn't really know how I was going to share all this information if I can't talk to people about it. And so it's like, you know what, let's just hide everything in songs. Or not hide, but like to me, it was hiding everything's in songs, because some people will just listen to a song and they'll just hear the notes and just be like, oh, this is nice. And it's like, well, yeah, I just hid a bunch of my like heart right in there. Like, this is my life.
Just
And
wove it
so,
in.
yeah. And so from my music, that's definitely, I mean, one of the struggles with my music right now is that I would love to write a song that people like party to, right? But a lot of my songs have been written through depression. And so I don't really write like happy songs. I got like one or two. I know people will yell at me for saying that I don't have happy songs, but I don't have very many. And so that's where a lot of the inspiration from the music would be from, is just trying to put my hardships down on paper and just showing how I work through them. Now, with the stream, I would say a lot of the inspiration first came from those first videos that I saw on YouTube of people streaming and just being like, man, I remember seeing a subscriber come off the top saying like 9 months subscriber. And I was just like, oh my God, I want that someday, but I don't even know how. Like when I first thought that I wanted that someday, I didn't think that. I, I still barely have a hard time believing that it's something that can happen, um, even though it has. And so it's like, I always looked up to those, YouTubers in my mind. And so then once I started watching the streams and started getting into the music side of things, it was like Games and Tunes. Games and Tunes, Tyrandus, and Jordan Lane, just some music streamers here that really started to mold how my music streams were going to be. And then kind of, yelling out to Games and Tunes again, just watching her talk during her music streams to her community really inspired me to have more web shows, because I was like, wow, just talking and interacting, this is amazing. Like, I really like this. Like, I don't even care if you play another song because I really like chatting. And so me liking that, I was like, oh, I want to do this in my stream. And then that showed me, to start looking for different web shows. And then I found BU. And so BU has been a huge inspiration on
BU's
just
fantastic, by the way.
cultivating a positive and just relaxing stream. I didn't know that streams could be relaxing. I mean, the first couple streams that I watched were literally so hype that, I mean, just so hype. And I didn't realize that people would do calm streams. And then I met Bacchus in Norway, which I'm wearing his shirt right now. That guy literally some of the most calmest, like chill streams. And it was nice because it actually helped me sleep. And I was like, well, this is really weird. I could create content that people could fall asleep to, and it's good content. What the hell? That's such a weird concept to me. Like, because you would think that if your viewer is there and they passed out while watching your stream, then you've got to be making bad content. That must be boring. But it's like, well, no. What if they needed help sleeping, and your comforting vibes allowed them to get some good rest for a night? I would say you had a successful stream, even if they fell asleep in the first 10 minutes. That's still, I don't know. And so just like there's been so much evolution happening in my stream. And then once we started getting to the IRL stuff, I was starting to look around to see what people were doing for IRL streams. And I really wasn't seeing the IRL streams that I was hoping for. So yeah, the only I've only seen a couple IRL streams, and I'm not gonna lie, I take a lot of notes from every stream I watch. But sometimes those notes are, what do I not want to do? I didn't like that. Let's avoid that for my IRL streams, or whatever the case may be, right? And I know some people kind of gave me crap for watching a specific person, and I'm like, well, guys, come on, like, what? Just because you disagree with the way that they make content, like, I can't watch them? Like, that's a little weird. I mean, there's definitely good content in there, and yeah, there's maybe a bunch of bad content too, but it's still creating success for this person. So let's look at that and at least take notes from it. Like, it'd almost be stupid to not. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know, a lot of my inspiration comes almost
Now, come
directly
on.
from the Mixer community.
Thank
A
you,
lot of
Excuse.
mixer streamers have definitely been a huge motivating aspect on so many different sides of my streams.
Well, I mean, I think that's fantastic. So like, as a kind of finishing point, then you said that you wanted to create happier songs, that you wanted to create a bit of a different vibe. This is part of your journey, as it were, on Mixer, that you've taken everything that you've done, and you've transitioned through some tough events through life. You've done a lot to grow yourself. So why not weave that exact same story that you've already spun, and change that the feel, the vibe of the song with the story that you've created?
I mean, that's definitely I guess, like, where I'm like at is I think it's because I used writing to help me get out of such a dark hole. that when I'm feeling good, one of the last things I want to do is sit and write. Like, and so it's put me into this like weird position of like I used writing as a tool to get me out of this bad time. Why am I not motivated to do it when I'm happy? And it's still something that I'm trying to figure out to this day. I mean, now mind you, I do have I think there's like 2 positive songs. But and I still think it's kind of funny too, because one of the most positive songs that I have right now is called Motivation, and we actually wrote it on stream. And I was so unmotivated. I was just like, I hate today. It's the worst. I just need some motivation. I need some inspiration. What am I doing? Like, and we sat and wrote the song. And so it's funny. So like even my positive song was written in this time of not necessarily depression, but it wasn't a high point in my life. And so I'm trying to get better at writing, um, writing from not emotion. It's you want to include emotion all the time into a song, but to only write from emotion kind of it boxes you up. And I learned that a lot from some of the musicians here on Mixer. I mean, Johnny and Heidi, we've been working together and co-writing, and he's really helped me realize that, well, one, I really have only written songs from my heart, which isn't a bad thing. But when you want to create more and more music, if you only write from your heart, you essentially are waiting for life to come and do something to you so that you can create a song. And that is, I mean, that's literally pulling slot machines, like, and just hoping that you're going to hit the jackpot. And so I'd rather try to actively write a little bit more. And so we've been working on it, but yeah, definitely something that that has intrigued me, and I want to get better at, but I'm not quite there yet. We'll see.
Extreme Tattoos made the good point. Basically, it was something that I was thinking, that it can be your present, your little box surprise. That when you need it, it's there. You can reflect back on your memories to say that, no, in this moment, this is where my headspace was. This is the image that I created, and that's where I was at my high point. And so it's a way to kind of fall back and bank good moments for the future.
So write this down.
Okay.
So good. But yeah, no, I like the idea of just like banking good moments, like, because I've been essentially just banking all these bad moments, and
Hi,
I
Puffy.
like the idea of like it's not only just going to be good, for that moment in time, but future down the road, it'll be good to look back on and be like, look, at this point in time, this is where I was at. Like, and so I don't know, I really like that.
No,
Banking good
no,
memories.
not a problem. But so thanks, Smurf. So in the same sense that you said, you should go out of your way to still view bad content, because it's the wisdom and the experience of understanding and reflecting on, being retrospective on, this isn't great, and it's something I shouldn't do. But that's part of it, is understanding that there are bad sides of both ends of the spectrum that I should pay attention to. And it's the same thing with your music. You definitely should explore depressive songs, because it is in our most emotional moments that we do feel real, and that's how we relate as humans. I mean, people love dramas, but they also love comedies. And so in the same sense, you should explore good songs to diversify your entire range and help you hit a wider audience, right?
No, there's a ton of truth in that. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
No, I don't even know what else to say. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, yeah. What DAW do you use?
I don't even know what that means.
So, to I've seen it used in sentences, but I've never asked for an actual definition of it. So can we get a definition of DAW real quick? But I'm pretty sure that it's just recording software. So what do you use to record your music? FL Studios, Logic Pro X, yeah. So I use Reaper. Reapers was free to use at the time. Well, it's not free to use; it's free to evaluate, and it was a good program to wrap my head around things, especially because another mixer streamer also was using it, and so it was very easy to ask him questions. I mean, I use YouTube to get questions answered all the time, but it's a lot easier to ask people. So much easier. And
It's good to bank on
yeah,
relationships and friends, you know, especially when you know that they might be
I'll
more
type that in
experienced.
chat. Reaper.
Reaper.
Yep. Definitely not the best, but it got done what I needed. Which, yeah, I self-produced my own album on that, and I mean, are there issues with it? Hell yeah. But you know what? it got me to where I needed to be, and yeah, definitely would use it again.
So, to continue with what I was talking about,
Yep.
the first question we got basically from the audience was, what is the one most important piece of advice you can offer to a viewer?
To a viewer, I would say the best advice to a viewer is just remember that streamers are real people. Like, I don't know how else other to, like, if you, I don't know, if you wouldn't do it in public, then don't do it in chat. That's, I guess, my best, like, and just like treat people like real people, man. Like, yeah, we're on the internet and we're behind a screen and nobody actually knows who you are, but don't abuse that. Be real. Everybody, there's so much fake stuff in this world. We all just want, we all just are looking for real people, man.
I mean, I did. Thank you, Tattoos. Appreciate it. The other question, I don't know if there's any sense of realism to it, was should humans establish a moon base on the moon?
I mean, I don't know, how good's the Wi-Fi out there?
Oh God. So did you see that like what is it, that elevator thing that basically we would launch up to the elevator and then use space to just carry us up to the moon in a really quick fashion? Do you think that's realistic?
That.
You haven't? Oh, dude, you should check this out. So there's like a whole article on it. Basically, the idea is that we would launch up to this pre-existing, elevator. And since, not really having resistance, it would essentially carry you at a really high speed. So we only need to get to point A, and then from point A, that'll take us to B.
Gotcha. I get. I don't know enough about like physics and things like that to understand anything. If that, like, I don't know, sounds cool, sign me up, I guess. But I don't know how feasible anything actually is.
So more of a real question then,
Yeah.
Which we've got some science majors out in chat. It tends to happen. We get a little involved, as it were, but something probably a little bit more up your alley. What's your favorite self-made track? There's not TP on the moon yet. We're not there yet.
So I guess I have two answers for that. My favorite self-made track that's actually released would be I really like The Cabin. I'll just type that in there. The Cabin. And then I would say for songs that are not released, my favorite one, I don't know, that's such a tough question because each song hits to me differently depending on, because I wrote all my songs from my heart. They're all just, they mean so much to me in different aspects. There's this one song called Sky. And basically it just kind of talks about how I messed up big time. Wish that I could have apologized. Couldn't. But even through this, like I was in this super dark spot, realized I messed up, couldn't fix it, but there was still this like hope, this like little angel over my shoulder type feeling of like, even though this is all messed up and you're not going to get the outcome that you hope for, it doesn't mean that it's all over, right? and there's still more for you. You're not just a lost soul at this point. And so I don't know, Sky would be definitely my favorite one from that aspect.
Fantastic. So we can always check
Did you
those
mix
out
and
through, you said Spotify, right?
Yes. Yep. Spotify.
Awesome. And that was all under MWS.
Yes, sir.
Everything will be available through the playback for one, through the VOD if anyone wants to go back and reference it. I've got everything, that I'm recording through video, so that way I can upload it to YouTube. You guys can always check it out there. But we can always reference that. Does anyone have any other questions at this time? Or Starfish, do you have any questions for me?
I did see one up there. Did you mix and master yourself? I did. For this record, I did have some help with it, but I mixed and mastered everything, produced it all, wrote all the songs, yeah, I don't know. Luckily with the internet today, creating a record label for yourself is a lot easier than it used to be. And so, yeah, got to release it all under my own record label. And yeah, I don't know. It was a crazy experience. And I literally have Mixer to thank for it, because if it wasn't for people in my chat telling me and advising me of what to do next, like I wouldn't have gotten it done. So yeah, thanks guys.
I think that's our troll question.
Have you ever spilled drinks from mugs you thought were empty on stream? I have. It was very embarrassing, and it's probably my community's favorite clip. Sitting there, and I have 2 cups that I thought were empty, and I was just pretending. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just drink it all away," and didn't realize that 1 cup still had like half a cup of tea in it, and poured it all over myself. And then I proceeded to hope that nobody saw, and I just pretended like nothing happened. And then chat just blows up, and they all start laughing at me like, "Dang it, are you serious?" And then we go back and watch the clip, and you can. It sounds like a fake water droplet, like bloop, like just it just splashing all over. It's like, oh my god, everybody saw.
Perfect.
Oh no. Yep. I even gained a follow off that one moment, and I like to talk back to everybody. I'm like, this guy followed me after I spilled coffee on tea on myself. What kind of streams is he expecting? Like, what do I have to spill tea on myself every time now to keep this follower? Like,
I mean, Extreme Tattoos made a real point. There was a point I had a spider crawl into my cup and almost drank that. I literally picked up the mug to look into it, and sure enough, there's the spider floating around in the water. And I had it up to my mouth, and I was like right there looking down. I'm like, oh nope, not gonna drink that. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
That was good. That was a good time.
Nice.
See, now I feel like this has got to be one of those questions that I have to ask in every interview. Have you ever done anything crazy with a mug or a water bottle that's been involved with the stream? It's just, that's the static go behind question now I'm going to have to start asking everyone. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah.
I guess I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
How old is your chair?
Old enough. To be honest, I'm not entirely positive. We've got some cat damage here. I've got tape to try and keep the cats off from scratching it to take it any further. But no, I should probably reupholster it at some point. The actual age of the chair. God, Smurf probably remembers this. But I used to have this at my old apartment.
Okay.
I don't know how I got it. It was just there.
Right, WB?
It was just there. But I never really used it at all. And then I was looking for a chair before I started streaming, because like in the main room where I originally was, I was just using like a kitchen chair, like that you would sit at for dinner, and transitioned into late 60s. I mean, timing's probably pretty close, but so like upholstery wise, it definitely is a little close. But so I just pulled it in. Like I had no other chair. I brought that up as an option. Nice. And that's what I went with. And people are like, I've had the plus and minus on both ends of the spectrum. People think that it's awesome, it's iconic. Other people are like, oh my god, how do you not have a gaming chair? You must be in so much discomfort all the time. I'm like, actually, this is pretty nice. Dude, I can't complain.
I was gonna say, I've been gaming in this chair since I was like 17 years old.
Right?
So yeah, I don't know, or maybe even younger than that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any back problems or anything. So
Right. I mean, I've had incidents with my back, but from pre-existing
Gotcha.
condition. So
Okay,
like,
fair
it's not the chair's fault. Like, I've started sitting in the chair after the fact, and I've had back problems since before that. So, but I was in a car
Right on,
accident. So a big
Oh,
long thing. So it's not the chair's fault. Don't blame the chair.
yeah,
Blame my body.
fair enough.
But no, yeah, it's good. Throne Stream 2020. But no, yeah. So dueling throny chairs. But no, yeah. So I don't know if anyone else has any other questions.
Yeah.
But apparently the age of the chair is unknown, unbeknownst to me.
No, fair enough. No, I appreciate you having me on today, man.
No,
This
it's
is This has been
fantastic.
great, dude. This has been great.
Absolutely.
I was telling my chat earlier, I'm like, he asked me that I don't know what kind of questions, and he asked if I was willing to answer to some difficult questions. So I don't know what we're gonna get into, but I'm totally down for it. And no, this has been great, man. This has been great.
Well, I hope you don't feel too put out. We've done a couple of streams previous or interviews previous, and I would say that they've been a little bit more basic. And I'm kind of learning from feedback that I want to direct a little bit more of that conversation towards the hard topics. You know, anyone can go into a stream and ask a person, hey, what do you stream? But like, something requires a little bit more of a value to the back and forth that you have from a typical conversation that you can't just get from chat. Iron Man, thank you so much for the host. Greatly appreciate that. And so I think that that's the interesting piece, is like, what can I do that's more than what you would normally get from just a regular back and forth? And so I like that.
I do not G money.
Ooh, mayonnaise on grilled cheese?
I put
Oh my
ketchup
God.
on my grilled cheese though. Is that weird?
I mean, that makes a little bit more sense, I guess, but oh my God, mayonnaise?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh. Oh. So anyone else have anything else besides G Money and the peanut butter on grilled cheese? Ugh.
What?
This is
No,
now becoming
grilled
one of
cheese-
those the Elvis sandwiches or whatever with the banana and the peanut butter and mayonnaise, right? Isn't that like the
Oh my
Elvis
God.
sandwich?
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's something like that. Oh my God. Man, grilled cheese, bacon, and ketchup, that is fire. It's amazing. But yeah.
Someone's so upset at the suggestion. Gold bonded. Oh.
Gotcha.
Yikes.
So I've never tried that. Though that does sound better than just straight up putting mayonnaise on your grilled cheese.
Yeah, I would say at least that whole concept of like a fattening agent, like an oil that you can just throw into. Yeah, okay, all right, I can follow that a little bit better.
Yep.
But no, yeah, lathering it on the inside of a grilled cheese, ugh, and then
Oh
having
my
it like all
gosh.
greasy, drippy after you get it out, just mounds of nonsense, like dripping in your hands. Ugh. Ugh. It's super soggy.
Oh my God.
It sounds horrible.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, is there anything else? Otherwise,
I personally, I don't have any other questions. Otherwise, we can transition into the fun bit of it where we all can play Jackbox.
I'm totally
Melts
down.
in your mouth,
Totally down.
not in your hands or your pans. Nothing at all. Anyone? Last chance. Last chance call for anyone who'd like to ask a question to Mr. Starfish or myself. He's looking lovingly into the camera just for you.
Come on.
Can we get a song? Oh yeah, that would be a great option. Can we
guys
get
want
a
a song?
song? Just a little showcase?
Yeah, we can do that.
Fantastic.
Do a song and wrap it up after that? Or
Oh, that's a loaded
transition?
question. Who is your favorite mod? Ugh.
Oh, Positive Mischief. My bot, because it doesn't talk back.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Just the bot love. Oh, wow. That is the fastest unsubscribing and unfollowing I've ever seen on a partner. Wow, look at that.
Oh man,
wow.
Happens all the time on my stream. If you guys love unfollowing and unsubbing, man, you'll love my stream. One of the only streams where the community and the streamer just really don't get along. Just kidding.
Can't confirm.
Let's see here. Give me just a second.
Take your time. Take your time. Tomato soup or chicken and noodles? Neither. Chicken and rice.
I don't know why I can't hear. Oh, I gotta turn this up.
Silencio. Give it a little silent stealth.
Sorry about this. All right. Too many chords. Yeah. How's the levels, you guys?
Oh, good. They're pretty
Okay,
strong.
okay.
I don't know about through the actual stream, but I think they're pretty solid.
All right, sweet. Trying to find that inspiration, little motivation, find that good vibration. Trying to find that inspiration, little motivation, find that good vibration. Yeah, I started my day feeling like I'm gonna do something. One thing leads to another. Next thing you know, I'm running late, losing inspiration as the morning goes on. Bright ideas one moment and the next are gone. Oh, the next they're gone. Holding expectations higher than they need to be, expecting everything to work out seamlessly. Feels like the motivation's beginning to drain. Drip, 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 dripping thoughts through my brain. All through my brain. Trying to find that inspiration, little motivation, find that good vibration. Feeling down, all the rain's pouring down today. I start to cry as I dry myself, yeah, holding things back as I start to melt. Between the cracks on this old wooden shelf, filled with the records that I strive to sell, about the times and the stories that I start to tell. Soon you start saying that you know me so well, leaves me wondering if reality come and put me in check, yeah, and knock me off its hit list. Now it's the interpretation of how you relate to that feeling of falling all helplessly into a crevice so deep that you have created, of all the memories, every sadness and hatred, clinging on to hope with the wish that we make it, holding on to things because we thought they were sacred, feeling like I'm down, betrayed, I can't make this, there's sabotage and it's leaving me faithless. Oh, it's leaving me faithless. Losing all my motivation today. Feeling down, won't the sun come out today? Losing all my motivation today. Oh, trying to find that inspiration, little motivation, find that good vibration. Thanks.
That was great, man. That was great.
Thank you.
Love it. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say I don't know how everyone else feels, but let me see some stickers out there. Get some emotes. Get some little vibes. A couple smiley faces.
Thanks.
Show it up in chat, man. Give him a hand.
Yo, what's up, Rabbit's mom? Hello. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. And I'm excited. You guys excited to play some Jackbox here?
Bro,
I'm excited.
I'm thrilled. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to have you here on the stream with us for the interview. And I appreciate. I don't know, Deja Vu, if you're out there still, but thank you so much for the heads up in bringing up that, you know, as chair brothers, we should use the opportunity to have a sit down chat. And I think it's ironic. I think the chair is what creates the energy in the person. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I think that's what.
You're telling people the secrets, man. Oh no. They're all gonna get chairs now.
If you want to live a better life and just be a positive inspiration to the people around you, you got to have a Western high back style chair, a better chair. Get a real chair. There's a clip in there somewhere. I don't know where, but it's there. Either way, I'm going to see if I can get this set up then to where effectively, hopefully I can still keep you. It's up to you whether or not you want to be. I should ask, I guess, first. Do you want to continue the Discord call and run video, or do you just want to run full screen so that way people can see what's going on? Sorry, that sounded loaded. That's not what my intention was.
No, you're good. I guess I'd rather wrap up the call here and then.
Okay.
I've been on camera for a good amount of time today, and I wouldn't mind just being able to be a part of chat and kind of interacting that way.
No, yeah, absolutely. So what we'll do is I'm probably going to take a quick bathroom break just to use the restroom. Anyone else, you guys have been so fantastic for being here this entire time. So, if anyone needs a drink, you got to get a water or smoke or anything like that, please feel free to take a moment, and then we're going to transition, come back, play some Jackbox. Everyone can get involved. That way everyone has a chance to play. We try and do first come, first serve, and then ask people to rotate out, who've already gotten a chance to play so other people in the chat can play. But feel free, sit back, enjoy some moments. Again, MrWildStarfish. Can we get a shout out? Any of my mods out there? Can we get a shout out for MrWildStarfish? Go ahead, drop them a follow. Click that nice little icon there with that name that pops up in chat. Drop it down to the beautiful little heart. Make sure it's highlighted and call it a day. Show them a little love. Stop by sometime. Listen to a few good songs. And yeah, thank you so much for investing the time here with us, Mr. Starfish. It's been more than fantastic.
My pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll catch you guys here in just a little bit here in chat.
Sorry, I re-enabled Firebot. If we could get another shout out for Mr. MrWildStarfish since that didn't work the first time. There we go. There you go, guys. Click that, and then we'll be back in just a moment. Thank you again.